Good morning. I'm Tammy Savoy, and I'm a member of the Academic Affairs Committee. Our chair of the Academic Affairs Committee, Lisa Patante, is not present today. She's out ill, so I am going to be calling this meeting to order. Present are ex officio member, Chair Young, and me, and it's just the two of us. And while we don't have a quorum, we are not actually going to be taking any formal action. That said, we will continue to hold this formal meeting of the Academic Affairs Committee, and I would like to introduce our Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dale Kapla.
Thank you, Trustee Savoy. Good morning, everyone. We wanted this morning to have a group of folks talk to you about some of the support services that we offer our students and that we've had for quite a while. We are always trying to improve those services. I think we do a fantastic job at doing it. So I think it's instructive for them to be here today. So I'd like to first start with Dr. Lisa Eckert. She is the Dean of Graduate Education and Research. And Lisa, if you could come up and introduce the folks that will be talking about our TRIO services.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, Provost Kapla, for the opportunity to share the good news of these prestigious federally funded programs and the critical difference they and the team of NMU people who participate make in the lives of the students they support. Forward the slide. Did it forward? I'm not going to read this to you. I think you can read it yourself. It's just a little background on the TRIO programs. The TRIO programs are highly competitive, but I'm delighted to be able to be here to celebrate them and celebrate the people who make them happen because they don't celebrate themselves enough. So I'm so appreciative, Provost Kapla, of having the opportunity to do so. I'm also here just to provide an overall picture. I've written down what I'm going to say so I don't talk too long. And I'll stick to it. This is another side of grad studies and research, and these stories demonstrate the interconnectedness of the NMU community. We also want to thank the provost for the support for these programs. Some of that support is written into the grants. So without that, we wouldn't be able to be here today, and nor would we be helping the students that we're helping. It takes a team to envision how the program will work at NMU, to build the proposal, and these are enormous, complex proposals coming through the Department of Education, to submit them and then to win them. It's not a given ever that a TRIO program will be renewed. It's a completely new process in each grant cycle. While $4.5 million in funding is enough to celebrate, it's also true that there are $352,000 in F&A funds, but it's the most important part is the programs themselves. They're synergistic. They work together to providing opportunities, mentoring, and financial support for disadvantaged students from middle school to graduate school. Beginning with the Upward Bound program, continuing with support service and Mcnair, these programs connect students with NMU early in their education, middle school, and help them first to recognize, then realize their dreams. And so our first speaker, and I'm just going to
So good morning, everybody. Joe Lubig. I'm the Associate Dean for Teacher Education, School of Education Leadership, Public Service, and the Upward Bound Math Science program is part of our team. And so along with the Seaborg Math Science Center, that whole connection there. And so I'm representing Julie Bowerman, who does all of the work to keep the Upward Bound Math Science program organized, engaging, and inspiring for our young people. And so Julie is actually at an Upward Bound session right now out of state to learn how to make the program better and to keep those connections. So I just want to reinforce with all of you that the Upward Bound Math Science program, it's anchored in the items you see up on the screen there. And this is something that is not a one-shot deal. As Dr. Eckert stated, this is over time. And so we thought the best way to show you what happens over time, the uneasiness, the nervousness, the anxiousness, morphing into growth and confidence over time would be to let a couple of the Upward Bound math science students speak on behalf of the program and all of the excellent things that happen. So we can just go right to that video. No, we can't.
Hi, my name is Carrie Graham. I've been participating in Upward Bound for the past 4 years. Every year of high school, I participate in Upward Bound.
Hello, my name is Alexander Gooden. I am a 17-year-old up-and-coming senior, and I've been doing Upward Bound for 3 years now.
It's been one of the most cherished times and memories that I've had in high school, and it definitely made my experience a lot better.
My ninth grade year Upward Bound experience wasn't too good. I mean, I definitely went into Upward Bound with a negative mindset. And because I went into Upward Bound with a negative mindset, I came out with a negative result.
Not only socially, but also academically, because it also helped me prepare over the summer where I usually forget things. And it helped me get a little edge on when certain topics are brought up, like math. I know a little bit more than math than others because we'd already practiced it in the summer and kind of get a feel for it already.
Going into sophomore year summer at Upward Bound, I definitely learned a lot more. And I did a lot better because I changed my negative mindset into a positive mindset.
Socially, I wasn't really the most social person. Before Upward Bound, I was always kind of, at home doing my own thing, kind of very pessimistic and stuff. But Upward Bound kind of, opened me up to, other people, because in the program, you're all in it together, especially when it's in person, because everybody's living in the dorms together, everybody's eating together, everybody's walking to class together, everybody's taking those classes together, everybody's doing their homework together, everybody's doing these activities together. Everything is meant to be together. You're never really alone. And while it does sound kind of off-putting, it's actually better than you'd think, because that's something that I really needed back then, because I felt like I could rely on myself for everything. But as it turns out, we have others for a reason.
During Upward Bound, I averaged all A's and B's. And because of that, I was able to go on a big trip. The big trip is usually an out-of-state trip, to somewhere like California, Alaska, Florida. And it's extremely fun. Last year, we went to Disney World. So, that was definitely a great experience.
Upward Bound is that kind of experience that you honestly really need in high school. Not only that, but it also helps prepare you for college.
At Upward Bound, we had a lot of fun. We went hiking. We went inside of an abandoned mine. It wasn't like spooky abandoned, but more like museum kind of, or like attraction. It was safe because we had harnessed helmets, guides. Nobody got lost, but it was definitely a fun experience. They have beaches and mountains there, forest. There's a lot of beautiful things about Upper Michigan, and hopefully you'll be able to enjoy them.
I know that, going into my freshman year here at the University of Michigan, my placement exams, I would have done really badly on my placement exams had it not been for Upward Bound, because, they helped me prepare this past summer when I usually would have been, just slacking around since this, COVID era. I would have been playing games, doing whatever I had to do.
Going to my junior year, I averaged a 4.3. IB and AP courses, and I had all A's. So I definitely learned a lot. some of the things that they'll teach you at Upper Bound is, you know, English, trigonometry, physics, chemistry, biology, environmental science. They'll teach you all of that stuff. So you have an open mind and make sure to learn.
Even if you don't really think it'll help you in certain ways, it'll definitely help you in others. But all around it is a very worthwhile experience that I want everybody to, you know, have a part of. And, you know, I might be everywhere or here or there, but it really is a dear thing to my heart. And, you know, there's a reason why I carried through with it my entire time in school. And if I could, I would take it again and again, because it doesn't become so much as a college prep program or a, you know, learning program or a trio program as it is a family, whether if it's academic or if it's just familiar and social. Whatever it is, you feel like you thrive in, whether it is you feel like you don't thrive in, feel like nature, feel like learning, feel like anything, if you don't like anything, do Upward Bound. It's so worth it.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Lee. I'm the Mcnair director. And actually, this is a really great segment to me because I'm an Upward Bound alum. So it's really great to see the video because it brought back a lot of memories, but it's obviously I'm here so you can see that the program works. But I'm here actually to talk to you about Mcnair. So before I jump into Mcnair, I thought it'd be really cool to actually share you a little bit of history about the Mcnair Scholars Program. So you have programs like Upward Bound and Student Support Services that really lead student to college, but what they actually saw when these programs were working was that there was a lack of representation at the graduate level or at the faculty level. So the program Mcnair was actually created specifically for that. And that's the reason why Mcnair is one of the only programs that really has the clause of supporting students from underrepresented ethnic minority groups to get into the program. So as you can see here at NMU, our program is very diverse. The demographic is there for you. We do have a 24% low-income first-gen and underrepresented ethnic minority group. And this program really helps with retention, graduation, but I think most of all, it creates a community in which students belong, in a research community, but also a community of just scholars in general. And in terms of services, we offer a lot of services, but to really break it down, it's really a program to help students get into graduate school. So anything from paid research internship to, we do a lot of traveling with our students because Marquette is in the middle of nowhere, so we need to travel. And then advising, and then a lot of graduate school prep. And I really want to drive home the idea of the research piece. We get a lot of help from academic affairs, and this is probably one of the most important pieces to our students' success is that they graduate with really great research experience and support from their mentors. And then just a couple of things to highlight here. Mcnair was just awarded the grant again this year. So we are starting again a completely new 5 years. It was a very competitive round. There are only 186 Mcnair program in the whole country. And we're actually one of 6 in Michigan, which is actually really small for a state the size of Michigan. And then we're the only one in the UP. And so to get renewed again, I really want to emphasize that I believe that the reason why we got renewed is because not only do we have the infrastructure, but we also have the need for this program here. And then I just wanted to quickly highlight 2 programs. We had 17 programs this summer, but I put 2 really cool ones here. We have Aiden working with Dr. Ewald, who did an interesting research with girls in the Boy Scouts. And of course, then we have Katie with Dr. Harris, calculating maggot mass with Ross. It's interesting to read these papers because I can tell you that I recently learned that if temperature is above 70 degrees, apparently maggots like multiply like crazy. So, but that's all I really have. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'll give a shout out. If you're interested in what our students are what they researched this summer, we have the Mcnair Research Symposium, October the 14th, here in the center in the Founders Room. And then I'll give it over to Mary.
Thank you.
Will you send us an invitation to it? Thank you.
Yeah.
And was that picture of the board doc, was that a rendering that was up there on that one? Is that like a design that somebody put together?
No, I think it's just a picture.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
probably from EcoBot.
I think, oh yeah, you're right. It is
Yeah.
from EcoBot,
Okay,
yes.
all right, cool, thank you.
Mhm.
That was a Mcnair student who looked at EcoBot.
Mhm.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, good morning. Thank you so much for having us here. My name is Mary Brundage. I'm the Associate Dean of Students. I'm currently searching for a new director for Student Support Services, so I'm pleased to be here today to talk to you about this program. Student Support Services has been on Northern Michigan University's campus since the fall of 1978. So we're coming up on 45 years. So like Lisa said, that's amazing when you think about every grant cycle we start anew. We need to prove that not only our community has the need, but that Northern supports this program in infrastructure and providing staff so that we can prove that administratively we can be successful with this program here. So for 45 years. So thank you very much for that. Students in Student Support Services apply for the program. And then if they're admitted, they stay in the program until they graduate. The grant allows 216 students to be served. Every single one of these students qualifies by either being low income, first gen, or having a documented disability. Many of our students are double qualifiers, some are triple qualifiers. So a lot of these students come to us with additional barriers that other students don't have. So without this program and the support that we provide, trying to navigate the complicated and sometimes challenging world of higher education would be very difficult for these students. So this has been a very helpful program. Okay. So the main goal of Student Support Services is to support the students in the program to attain a bachelor's degree. So the magic of this program, what really makes this program work, are the relationships that are developed and then the sense of belonging that these students have. The advisors that serve this program have a goal of meeting with each of their students at least 4 times a semester. And when they meet with them, they cover not only these academic supports, but non-academic supports. So when you look at these, it gives you an idea of how intense these meetings can be, talking about everything that's going on in the student's world, a very holistic approach. And so these advisors do everything from setting up one-on-one tutoring for a student to finding permanent housing off campus for a student who's aged out of the foster care system. So the whole gamut. And then also the educational, social, cultural activities. Many of these students don't have the funds to participate in cultural events. And so they really enjoy this opportunity for personal and professional development, but also they're spending time with students with whom they identify. And so they get that sense of belonging that they're with their people. And so that's another added benefit to the program. I appreciate that you were able to receive the slides ahead of time and that you were able to read some of the successes of Student Support Services. So I won't go over these in detail. But again, I want to highlight that every single one of these students is first gen, low income, or has a documented disability. So when you keep that in mind and you look at these successes, even with those challenges and roadblocks that our students experience, still 59% of our students have a GPA of a 3.0 or higher with the supports that we're able to provide. So they're really amazing people. We have one student who has 4 children and is working hard to earn a bachelor's degree. We have another student who has 1 parent in prison, another parent struggling with drug use. So they've been living with an aunt and uncle since high school. And that student is a junior and thriving. And so they're really, really great people. I wish you could meet them all. So in my experience, every Northern student needs a person, their person, the person they can go to on campus to ask questions that they may think are silly, the person they go to when they finally get an A in math, the person they go to when they're facing challenges and they're thinking of withdrawing from Northern and not coming back. These programs that we talked about today we serve that purpose and we're their people. And we couldn't do what we do without your support, because we all have to prove that we have your support in order to continue with the grants. And so we really appreciate your support for all of our programs. So I don't know, Dale, do we have?
Julie, can I ask a quick question? I think you said 216 people get in.
Yes.
How many apply?
Oh boy, we always have a waiting list. We actually, part of the grant is that we need to be marketing. We don't market, to be honest, because just through our orientation process, because we have such a good intense orientation process, students who qualify and need these services bubble up through that. And then also a lot of students are referred. Disability services is housed in the Dean of Students office along with this program. So there's a natural connection there. Financial aid refers a lot of students. We all work with each other. We have students who come up through Joe's area who then become part of the program. And so quite honestly, we can't market because we always have a waiting list just from referral or people who know about us. But per grant stipulations, we're only allowed to serve 216.
Okay, and the other ones who would be eligible, but perhaps didn't get chosen for it. They have other places you can refer them?
Well, fortunately, now we have the student success specialists, the embedded advisors, and so we are able to connect them with other resources. We still will give them documents that we've put together of helpful resources for students, stay in touch with them in case a space comes open. And then there are some students who don't stay in the program or don't make it, and then it creates spots for other students. We did talk about this. I serve on the retention committee, Chris's retention committee, and we talked a great deal about this program and the success of this program. And when you look at our number of first-gen students, we have a high need for these kinds of really high touch supports for our students. And so we talked about, what if we duplicate this program and one is university funded and this one's grant funded? But then again, we looked at, okay, then that's only 440 students, so then the embedded advisor model really seemed like a great way to have a high touch relationship with students across campus. And so that was one of the proposals that we had. But we did talk about actually duplicating this program because many of these students, I mean, I have the privilege of working in the Dean of Students office space. And so I know most of these students, and I don't know what they would do without this program.
Thank you. Thank you. Steve, did you have any questions?
I'm good. That's very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you. Provost Cap?
Well, thanks to everyone. Really appreciate your time. And unless there are other questions, we are.
Thank you. So thank you all. This then allows us to conclude the Academic Affairs Committee meeting. Thank you all very much.
More steps on 10 o'clock.